Have you ever felt invisible? Like you pour out your heart, your strength, your effort, yet somehow people look right through you, as if your worth doesn't shine bright enough for their eyes? Have you ever felt like no matter how hard you try, people just can't see your value? Like you carry responsibilities so quietly that no one even notices? You give, you show up, you endure even on the days when you're breaking silently inside. But still, someone else gets the praise, someone else gets the credit, and you're taken for granted. Maybe someone once told you that you're not enough. Maybe you've been judged for your pace, your background, your silence. Or maybe the enemy isn't the world anymore. Maybe you're just tired of fighting yourself. This story is for anyone who has ever felt underestimated, overshadowed, or overlooked. Because sometimes it isn't you versus the world. Sometimes it's you versus you. In a small, dusty village under the burning sun lived a donkey named Balo. Balo strong like the proud horses that carried warriors. He wasn't beautiful like the cows the villagers adored. He wasn't fast like the playful goats that darted across the hills. He was simply ordinary. Every morning before the sky opened to the sun, Balo heard the familiar voice of his owner. "Balo, let's go. Work won't wait." Day after day, he carried heavy sacks, sometimes twice his size, walking along rocky roads that bruised his feet. He never argued, he never complained, but the villagers, they laughed. Look at the donkey, so slow, so weak, so useless. Children threw stones at him. Adults mocked him when he stumbled. And though Balo couldn't speak, their words stabbed deeper than thorns. At night, lying under an old tree, he whispered to himself, "Maybe they're right. Maybe I really am nothing." But each morning, he still rose. Not because someone believed in him, but because he didn't know how to stop trying. One hot afternoon, everything changed. Balo was climbing a narrow mountain path, carrying a massive sack of wheat. The morning rain made the ground slippery, and the load felt heavier than ever. Halfway up, his legs trembled. He lost his balance, and he slipped. The sack burst open. Grains of wheat poured down the hill like tiny falling stars. Below, villagers pointed and laughed. "Useless donkey. He can't do anything right. Good for nothing." Their words hit harder than the fall. Balo stood there shaking, humiliated. And for the first time in his life, he didn't try to rise. He let defeat press him into the dirt. Then, through the crowd, his owner approached. An old man with soft, knowing eyes. He didn't yell. He didn't scold. He simply placed a gentle hand on Balo's head and asked, "Balo, do you know why you fall so much?" Balo stayed still. The man crouched down, scooped wheat into his palm, and let it trickle through his fingers. "It's not the load that breaks you. It's the voice inside you that says you cannot." Balo blinked, the words unfamiliar yet comforting. The old man continued, "All your life, you've tried to prove people wrong. But you were fighting the wrong enemy. The real battle was never you versus them." He looked Balo in the eyes. "It has always been you versus you. Your fear battling your courage. Your doubt wrestling your potential. Your past blocking who you can still become." Something shifted inside Balo. Not a roar, not a sudden strength, but a quiet spark. A beginning. The man tied the sack again, lifted part of it himself, and said, "Come, let's try again, not to show them, but to show yourself who you are when you refuse to give up on you." Balo took a shaky breath. His legs trembled, but he moved. One step, another, then another. Slow, imperfect, but determined. The villagers watched, expecting another fall. Another joke, another reason to laugh, but Balo kept climbing, higher and higher, until finally he reached the top. And for the first time, The village grew silent, not because they respected him, but because they witnessed something powerful, a creature who refused to stay down. Sometimes silence isn't approval. Sometimes silence is what happens when you prove to yourself that you were capable all along. That night, under the old tree, Balo didn't whisper defeat. He whispered, "I'm not who they say I am. I'm who I decide to become." Days passed. Weeks followed. Balo became stronger, not because his body changed, but because his mindset did. Villagers still mocked him. Some still underestimated him. But the noise didn't matter anymore. Because once you believe in yourself, the world becomes background. One morning the old man smiled and said, "You see, Balo, the world never changed. You did." Most people think their enemy is the world, people's opinions, judgments, expectations, but in truth, your greatest opponent is yourself. Your excuses versus your dreams, your fear versus your bravery, your laziness versus your discipline, your past versus your future. No one blocks your path more than the weaker version of you. Balo's journey wasn't about proving others wrong. It was about proving himself right. And maybe that's what you need too. Stop fighting the world. Start fighting the version of yourself that wants to quit. Every day ask, who will win today? The me who gives up or the me who grows? Because success isn't loud. It isn't flashy. It isn't applause. Success is quiet, personal. It's you choosing over and over again to win the battle within. It was never you versus them. It was always you versus you.